Have you ever wondered how champagne gets its sparkle? Like many great discoveries, the world's first sparkling wines were an accident. Today, the process has been tweaked and perfected, and it's what's known as the traditional method. This is a process used to create champagne and cava, and many other countries use this method too, from Argentina to England to New Zealand. Fermentation is a process where yeast and sugar produce alcohol. This is how all wines are made. One of the byproducts of fermentation is carbon dioxide, and for still wines, this CO2 is allowed to escape. Trapping this in the wine will of course make it fizzy. The first step of the traditional method is to make a still wine, which is called the base wine. This is put into a bottle. Sugar and yeast are added, the bottle is sealed, and then a second fermentation process starts. Because the bottle is sealed, the carbon dioxide is trapped and dissolves into the wine, and the result? A sparkling wine. Once the second fermentation is complete, the yeast dies off and forms a sediment in the bottle, which is called the lees. Leaving the wine in contact with its lees sediment is what gives this wine their hallmark biscuity, doughy, toasty aromas. For some wines, the lees contact is just a few months, but for some it will be a number of years. And the longer the contact, the richer and more complex the style of the wine. To remove the lees sediment, the bottles are gradually rotated until they are upside down and the sediment has moved into the neck of the bottle. This is known as riddling. The necks are then frozen so that the sediment forms an ice cube. And when the bottle is unsealed, the pressure created by the carbon dioxide shoots the lees out of the bottle. This process is called disgorgement. The final step is dosage, where the wines are topped up with a mixture of wine and sugar before being resealed. Most wines only have a very small amount of sugar added. They will taste dry and will often be labelled as brut. If you add a little more sugar, this will create a sweeter style of wine, and the labelling term demi-sec often appears. One last bit of advice from me. Be sure to take great care when opening a bottle of fizz to avoid injury and losing a lot of wine to froth. The best tip is to make sure the wine is well chilled. A rogue flying cork is often caused by the wine being too warm. This causes the CO2 to expand, forcing the cork out of the bottle as soon as the wire cage is released. So unless you are going for a Formula 1 style celebration, be sure to pop your bottle in the fridge well ahead of time and enjoy that signature pop. Cheers!